Take it. Got it! Boston wins!
Two legends in basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
You know, what can I say? But it wasn't going to happen here with him. I was okay with it.
Welcome to the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman NBA podcast, powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy sports partner of the CLNS Media Network. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And by Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Gary Tanguay is actually off on vacation this week, so I'll be filling in. I'm Jackson Tolliver, full-time employee of CLNS Media. I'm here with the esteemed Bob Ryan. Bob, how are we doing this morning?
Doing very well this morning. Nice day down here in the South Shore.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Let's get right into it here. Let's talk about the Olympics. Obviously, we have USA starting the knockout rounds this week, playing Brazil. That's going to be tomorrow. Let's talk big picture here, because obviously the U.S. are big favorites to add on to the gold medal tally that we've seen from Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, all those great athletes. They're going to try to add one of their own. Who do you think is the team that stands in the way the most of that goal?
Well, logic dictates that a team that has maybe the best backcourt in the Olympics, and which is loaded with NBA players, not all of them all-stars, but seasoned NBA players, and has sufficient depth of NBA players. And that's our great friends to the north, Canada. And I'm always rooting for them to medal, Jackson, going back to my first exposure with international basketball back in the Dream Team year of 92. Got friendly with people on the Canadian Team Canada, and, and you feel empathy for them in a country where, they're not the number one sport in the winter. Obviously, we know that. They also ran, but they have not medaled since 1936. They were our victims in the gold medal game in Berlin, outdoors. I don't know if you know that, but the first Olympics were basketball were waged outdoors in Berlin. We beat them. We beat their butt 19-8. So don't forget. So they've been seeking revenge ever since 1936. But seriously though, Canada on paper, obviously, and they beat us in the World Championships last year. Now we had a B team. We have pretty much an A team now, no question. And you need an A team these days. All right, they're number one. Number two, France, and they're not that deep, okay? But let's face it, they got Victor Wembanyama, they've got Rudy Gobert, Nicolas Batum is not a star, but he knows what he's doing. Evan Fournier, who nobody loves him in New York anymore because they wasted a lot of money, but he can still shoot. And if he's dangerous, you got to honor him. They're not deep though. They don't. If only the 28-year-old Tony Parker were available to them, they would definitely be a medal threat, no question, and a serious threat. But so France, I think those two stand out the most. Okay, and now Germany, they're well coached. They play together. They beat us. They gave us a good game. So that's it. But I think that I expect the gold medal game to be USA Canada.
Yeah, are you concerned at all with the way Jamal Murray has been kind of playing? He's kind of, I feel like, hasn't had a great tournament so far. Does that concern you at all with Canada?
Well, sure, but we haven't. Our best basketball is ahead of us. I think, first of all, as a team. We know. I mean, Curry hasn't had a good game yet. And that'll happen. But meanwhile, as a team, our team we're not that fluid as a team. We're still winning on talent. We're winning on being better than everybody, not being a better team. But I think we'll play better. But Murray, they need him to play his all-star level in order to reach the heights. Their big weakness is that they got the excellent backcourt, including Lucas Dort. Like I liked him the first time I saw him in college. They got Dylan Brooks. They got wings. They got Wiggins. They got Brooks. They got Dwight Powell. But they're not that strong in the middle. And Kelly Olynyk, our old buddy,
former Celtic, yeah.
The reigning big man, they lack the big man, and that's but still they're dangerous. There's a question, but I think Murray will, if and when they play the U.S., he'll bring his A game. Don't worry.
And then going back to France, I mean, because obviously all these teams are on that side of the bracket. Are you concerned about France's size and being able to match Canada that way? Because I think France is going to beat Canada just because of the pure size aspect of it.
Well, the pure size is their calling card, obviously, plus Wembanyama, who's a queen on the chessboard. He does so much at 7'4", some of which we've almost never seen before. That's very true. Yeah, their size is a factor. And, when we played, for our big issue now, our game against Brazil, Steve Kerr has already sounded the alarm bell about offensive rebounding. That he thinks that Brazil is a physical team and that we have been freedom to be vulnerable to this offensive rebounding, and that's true. So we're not the greatest there either. But that's definitely a strength of France. What if they only, as I said, I'm looking who's their fifth man. Nando De Colo. I don't know if he's going to be their point guard. He's 37 years old now. He's got some NBA experience, but if that's the best they can come up with, they got Frank, and I've never been able to pronounce his name, Jackson. I'm sorry from the day the Knicks got him, but you know who I mean. Nilika. No, I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Ntilikina, I think. Yeah.
I've never gotten that one straight. He's on the team, but he's been a bust since the day he got the NBA. Okay, and by the way, they have an ex-Celtic in Gershon Yabusele.
Yes.
He's a scrapping fellow himself. So anyway, that's definitely France has to be respected, no question.
Yeah, agreed. Let's focus on Team USA here specifically. The roles of the players have changed pretty differently. Who do you think going down the stretch is going to be the most valuable player for the U.S. for the rest of the tournament?
After the first two games, I said the most indispensable player that I want on the floor when it matters in the fourth quarter is Anthony Davis. At both ends of the floor. Now, he's not getting a lot of acclaim right now, but I mean, I think he's indispensable. You forget how good, he flew under the radar and this year with the Lakers. So much attention about everything's about LeBron, and about, and of course, the big problem with Davis has been availability and during the regular season. Anyway, you forget sometimes how talented he is, how all around skilled he is. I think he's very important for sure. Obviously, what we're getting out of Durant is no one projected that he would become our great sixth man. That's for sure. But that show he put on in the first game was extraordinary. It really was, considering he hadn't played in months, literally. Okay, so I'm just saying that's it. I like the way Kerr, now that we've seen it for 3 games. The way he's handled this situation. Everybody around here was shocked when Tatum get to play in the first game. He decided he would be the odd man out. And then Embiid was the odd man out in the second game. And in the third game, he managed to play everybody, give everybody some minutes. But he's explained it. I think they're handling it well. I think he's handled the situation very, very well. But to answer your question, I'm telling you, I think we need to make sure that Anthony Davis is in that game when it matters.
Let's stay on Tatum. What do you think his role is going to be in these games? Because we've kind of seen him be like a spot-up guy. Yeah. We obviously saw that game where he got benched and then he started 2 games in a row. Do you think he's going to start for all these games? And what do you think his role is going to be specifically?
I don't know, obviously, if he is going to start or not. What Steve Kerr's plan is, we'll find out against Brazil. But he had a nice, solid game the last time out. He 10-10 the game in like 18 minutes or something like that. And his role is that he brings a little bit of everything. I mean, he's become a good guy with good floor vision, more than we ever thought he would have. And as a rebounder, he didn't get enough credit, in my opinion, during the playoffs this year for the traffic rebounder he has become. He's become a really high quality rebounder, and he brings a little bit of everything. And of course, the 3 threat is always there. We know how well he goes to the hoop. He does a little bit of everything for you. I think he's a guy, whatever you need, quite frankly. And so he'll acquit himself. He'll be fine.
Are you worried about his shooting at all? Not just for Team USA, but for the Celtics next season. His shot, his 3-point shot, his jump shot, seemingly hasn't been there.
No, it hasn't been there. But then again, Curry's hasn't either. And I'm not worried about any projection for anybody coming out of these games for next year. Okay, in terms of their team when we get rolling in September. No, I'm not worried about that at all. He'll be fine. I don't think there's going to be any carryover, and it's not over yet. I mean, who knows? He's liable to go out there and go 6 for 7. Tomorrow. Who knows? That'd be great.
Let's talk about LeBron, Captain America, playing a really, really good tournament so far. Do you think that should make us concerned about the Lakers? Obviously, he's going to the end of his career, but no signs of slowing down. Should we be concerned about the Lakers next year based off LeBron's play in this tournament?
No. The door's closed. Then he's it's going to be a weird year given, I don't know, of course we assume that Bronny will be in the G League or, right. He's not going to be an issue. But no, I don't think so. They still have too many holes. And I'm not worried about that. I am impressed. this is motivating him in a way. Who knows? When you're a guy like that, Michael Jordan was like that. You needed to always have some external motivation. Manufacture a phony issue, a grievance. LeBron is playing. He wants that medal. He wants to be down in history. And he's playing some of the stuff he's done. I mean, the games he's played. I mean, really remarkable. Truly. I mean, both then I love his hustle and defense. I keep coming back to a play he made early on when he made a basket. Then he went down the other end of the floor and intercepted a pass, made an acrobatic save while he was going out of bounds, ran down the other end and scored on the same sequence. At 39, that's very impressive. He wants this badly, and he is acting as a true leader right now. I know the LeBron haters are out there. You're never going to convince them all. All right, that's fine. A lot of things in life are never going to change, and that one of them is that he'll always have some detractors. But I remain respectful, and I remain not I won't say in awe, but totally appreciative of what a wonderful talent he's always been.
Yeah, I've seen flashes of Cleveland LeBron for sure, and Miami LeBron in this tournament, especially with the hustle.
He wants this thing, and that's great. He wants this badly, and good for him. That's great.
How do you feel about Derrick White's overall performance so far in this tournament? I mean, it hasn't just been remarkable.
It is so gratifying, obviously, for Kerr and whoever had the decision to name him. He's proven completely worthy. He just fits in. He just fits in so well. I love the last game. He goes 3 for 3 on threes. That's what he had. He had 10 points, 3 for 3 on threes. I love the way that Dwayne Wade lauded his defense and his shot blocking by saying that Dwayne blocked shots because he was such an athletic 6'5", but White blocked shots because of his brains and his timing and his anticipation as well. And he truly is the kind of guy that, as a clinician, that impresses professionals such as Dwayne Wade. I'm so happy for him, and what a great thing. I'm sure he told him 2 months ago he would be here, where he is right now. Never, ever, ever would have believed you, but here he is.
It's just remarkable. I mean, alongside all these Hall of Famers, and then you have Derrick White there. Who knows? Maybe he could be a Hall of Famer one day if they win a few more rings.
Yeah, a bit of a late start, but I don't think that's nothing. But all I know is he's got a ring, and there may be more rings, and apparently, from what we know, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
For sure. So, give me a score prediction for tomorrow's game against Brazil.
Well, we've broken 103 times in a row, and remember, it's only a 40-minute game, and but I'll go a little more of a struggle. 95-81.
95-81. So kind of difficult. Do you think they're going to pull away late, or is it?
Even though I can't even name anybody anymore on that
They
team.
got Gui Santos, the guy on the Warriors.
Okay, right. Well, very good. I go back to when they were a real threat. I beginning with Oscar Schmidt and those brothers. They're very different, the Silver brothers. But that's all. I think we'll figure out. I do believe our best is ahead of us in the medal round. And I can see us our very best game doing whatever is the gold medal game.
And then I'm sure we'll check in later. But your official gold medal game prediction is U.S. versus Canada.
Yeah, I have to. I would say that, but yeah, I will. And all right, that's it. France, sure, but I think Canada. They just have a lot of depth, a lot of NBA talent.
They do.
Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. That easy. Get in on the excitement and win up to 100 times your cash with the summer games on Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you could turn $10 into $1,000 while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer. You can make a Prize Picks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more. You can do it in as little as 60 seconds. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections, and you're locked in. Okay, have fun. It's simple. It's easy to do. For example, Kyle Schwarber for more than 9 hitter fantasy score, and Bryce Miller for more than 4 pitcher strikeouts. Right? Julian Alvarez for more than 2.5 shots, and LeBron James for more than 25 points. More or less. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit matchup to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
All right, let's move on here from the Olympics and move forward to looking forward on this season. I know you guys have talked about this on the podcast, but I want to hear your thoughts explicitly. Can you give me a top 3 ranking for who's going to be the biggest threats to the Celtics this coming season?
I really like what Philly has done. And okay. I think Philly is Daryl Morey, who I love the kid a lot, about how he's ruined basketball, the Daryl Morrification of basketball, the slaving, the numbers, the 3. But he's done a good job of bolstering them. And I think they're going to be a very tough out now, for sure. The Knicks, they got to nail down the Randall thing. It hasn't been done yet, but he will be in the uniform. I'm sure it's just a matter of how they're going to structure the contract, and it's a long-term issue for them. I've been reading up on it, and it is very complicated for them. They're worried about the second apron and all that, and him, and they've already extended contracts lucratively. They have to pay him. They have to have him, but they got a lot of talent. They got stuff, and remember how good they were in the month of January when he was still there, and they had just acquired OG Anunoby. Now they've gotten Mikal Bridges, and I mean, come on. That's a damn good roster, and so they're going to be. And I'm happy, Jackson, that both of those teams are back in the mix, if you will, for the rivalry factor. It's always been great when we have a rivalry with the Knicks. We haven't had a real good one in a long time. We certainly had some with Philly, and I think it's good to have those rivalries. And I think it's always good for the league when the Knicks are good. Because they have a polarizer, and people love them or hate them, and love New York or hate New York, and it's always good for the league. So I think they're a bigger threat than anybody in the West to the Celtics.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. And now Denver, they got Westbrook, correct?
Yes, they do have Westbrook.
I don't know if that's good or bad. We're going to find out. No, I'm very serious.
Yeah.
That's a wild card now to me because of him. Right. So they got him. They got.
Does he start? Does he come off the bench? It's like we just don't know any of it.
Jokic in his prime. Okay, we know that he's going to have another MVP level year. He will, and whatever it is, whether he wins it or not, he's going to be in the mix. And they're there. I am not afraid of anybody else out there.
Oklahoma City.
I like them, but I'm not afraid of them. But yeah, they're a growth stock. There's no question. Oklahoma City, young and talented, and absolutely, and they're going to be very good. And Minnesota was for real. I respect what the Timberwolves have done as well. But beyond that, who? I mean, come on. It's Dallas. Interesting because Dallas. They can't assume they're going to be back, but they're going to feel real good about themselves.
Right.
And who they just pick up? I'm sorry, help me.
Clay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now what's left in that tank? But if I think I'm guessing, he knows he's got it figured out now. Here's who I am at this stage of my career. I know what I'm certainly going to be expected to shoot the ball and nothing else. I mean, they want me to come in and make those shots. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting, assuming that he can stay healthy so yeah, you got to. But I'm not afraid of them. I'm more worried, if you will, about the Sixers and the Knicks than about anybody in the West.
How about Milwaukee?
Windows shut.
I think really.
Yeah, and even Giannis, I think they're going to. Hey, they got something out of him. They're going to. I don't see him getting another one in the near future. I don't see it. I'm not worried about them. I'm just not.
I think for me, it's like I looked at last year. They beat the Celtics really badly, right? And that was the team that I was the most afraid of going into the postseason, just because of how they performed, and we never got to see what Giannis and Damian Lillard can do together in a playoff series because Giannis was injured and Damian Lillard was injured for half that series. So I think there's still so many unknowns that I'm just not ready to write them off just yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not disrespectful, but I'm not. I just don't think they're as good as Philly or New York right now. In the East, I just don't. And we'll see. Middleton has trouble staying healthy too, and Giannis has trouble staying healthy. But then again, look, we all know every team. Like we got a Porzingis issue. We don't know when we're going to see Porzingis. People are speculating it won't be till December. I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
All I know is everybody has somebody that, oh yeah, there's the issue with everybody, obviously Jokic has to stay healthy and Doncic has to stay healthy and Giannis has to stay healthy and, we on and on and on. Yeah, our guys have to stay healthy, of course. That's a given. So everybody. So Yeah, we won't. Now, some teams have more depth than others, and and that's fact. That's why you want depth, and we proved that last year. With what happened, Porzingis doesn't play for 37 days, and life goes on. Al does what Al could do, and it got through it. And but not every team could make that. Not every team could lose a guy of that magnitude and survive as well as the Celtics did. Which, by the way, Jackson, I believe I've been only watching this league close up to 55 years. So this is the deepest team of NBA quality individual talent that I've ever seen. The deepest. They got more good players than I've ever seen any team ever have. Not saying they're the best team because they're not, but deep NBA talent, 1 to 10. I've never seen a team like the Celtics. But what a tribute to the roster that Danny Ainge and Brad put together, because that's what it's all about, a roster assembly. And
that
think about
what it's all about.
You can start wherever you want. You could start with manipulating to identifying Jaylen Brown as a number 3 pick in the draft, because not everybody did. You could go start with manipulating, trading out of number 1 to get Jason Tatum.
That's the crazy one. Yeah.
Not great. I mean, praise the guy enough for that. So anyway, their depth should be, is always a major factor.
So how confident are you on a scale of 1 to 10 for a repeat championship from Boston?
I'd say, given all the roadblocks that we know historically occur, and it's a reason why we had 6 champions in 6 years in this league, but their roster assembly, by bringing everybody back, it's just not normal these days. 8.
8. Okay. 8
I
out
don't
of
want
10.
to 10 because that's crazy, because things can happen.
Right.
But 8.
And if they lose, it's going to be because they're knocked out by New York or Philly, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I think. And but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very interesting season in that regard. And they're going to have, they got the proverbial bullseye in the back. We all know all that stuff. We know that. They know that. It's a very mature group. That's the other thing. They don't play anybody. No one of any consequence will play who is under the age of 25. They're an incredibly mature group, but not aged yet. One aging guy, one, Al. And I guess this will be Al's farewell, you would think, although we would have easily applauded him if he wanted to ride off into the sunset after this year. But he's back. He likes what he's doing. And I like, they're all happy here. You know what I mean? They all seem to be very happy here. And that's really gratifying.
What do you think they're going to do in terms of personnel and in terms of scheme with Porzingis out for so long? Obviously, Al doesn't play back-to-backs. How do you think they manage that in terms of, who could really rise up on the roster right now?
Well, that's first of all, Cornette is not a stiff.
Right.
I used to have a characterization. I went back, if you go back, Jackson, many years, I used to have a category of NBA guys. I called them BWSs, big white stiff. And they were on the end of every bench, it seemed, and we knew why they were there, frankly, He ain't no BWS. He can play.
Yeah.
I think he can help you. He did help them. He earned his money. And if they need to lean on him a little more this year than they did in the past, if they do, I mean, I'm comfortable with him. That's all. He's not a star, but he knows what he's doing. So they're covered there. I mean, they're covered everywhere.
Right. Tillman, maybe?
And then we don't know about, Tillman. I like Tillman. Tillman helped them win a game. Now, some people are very high on Baylor Scheierman, and I know he struggled with his shot in the summer league a little bit, but people are high on him that he is a perfect fit for them. He fits into their whole scheme very well. We'll see, but there's no time immediately available for anybody, any youngster on that team. So, but that just testifies to depth once again.
Yeah, I think the thing with Scheierman is that he could be a seamless Sam Hauser replacement in theory, right?
That's the theory, and that's my theory. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, assuming that he's
but then they extended Hauser. So maybe they looked at him in summer league and thought, he's not ready. We got to keep Hauser around a little more. I don't know. What do you think?
It's insurance. It's just insurance policy. The young man is going to have to resign himself. That's going to be very difficult to, even make the team, let alone get any playing time. But I'm happy about Hauser, by the way. I'm happy they did that, and I remain a big Pritchard guy. And,
Oh, yeah.
I've been a big Pritchard guy from day one, ever since I saw him in college. And, even before he showed us this remarkable talent from last second shots from midcourt. But, I just, nothing not to like about this roster. Sorry.
There's nothing better during the summer than experiencing a sunny afternoon at the ballpark, or maybe a nice summer evening, catching a ball game live, in person, not streaming, not on your phone, not on the radio, not on the TV. I remember driving down from Maine every summer. It was a big deal. We get tickets to see the Red Sox at Fenway Park. And I just remember seeing the green grass as you'd walk up through the tunnel. It was like heaven. And I want you to have the same feeling. So go download the Game Time app and go see a game. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, so it's really easy to use. You can get your tickets faster and easier. Plus, as you get closer to the first pitch, the prices on Game Time actually go down. They have killer last-minute deals. They have the lowest price guarantee, and you can check out the view from your seats. Now, it's really easy. You just go to your phone, you download the Game Time app, you scan it, and you can see there are great seats to the Sox and the Yankees, or if you want that down-home minor league feeling, you can go see the Woo Sox or your favorite minor league club that's close to you. I go to Worcester and Polo Park. It is a great place to take the family to see a game. Very economical, too. Plus, Game Time also has great deals on the New England Revolution and Patriot preseason games. You can get last-minute deals and save up to 60% off on sports, concerts, comedy, and theater. You can save even more when you choose the section and you let Game Time choose the seats. You always get the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Looking back, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but at some of those Celtics teams in the past that have won a championship, for the ones that have repeated, what have they done to remain successful?
I'd have to examine, well, I'll tell you what the first group did, the 111. They made sure Bill Russell didn't retire.
Right.
That'll take care of the 50s, okay, and 60s. Bill Russell didn't retire. I mean, seriously, he was the fulcrum of the whole thing. Then I got to go up to the next group, and I can tell you this: the team that won in '74, was the best team in the league in '73 until John Havlicek got hurt in Madison Square Garden in the playoffs, and they would have pounded the Lakers, who they had swept during the regular season. And Cowens averaged 31 points and 19 rebounds a game against Will Chamberlain, who couldn't keep up with Cowens. They had a shot at 4 in a row. They were mismanaged, I think, and frankly, Tommy Heinsohn did a strange coaching job in '75. I think he messed them up a little bit. They came back and they could have won 4 straight easily, and they did. They won, and so they kept intact. They added on a little bit with a good draft in Paul Westfall in '72. Kevin Stakem made a good draft. Okay, the next group was the Bird McHale Parrish group, and they had competition. Philly beat them. They beat Philly in '81, and Philly beat them in '82 fair and square. In '83. The playoffs, and Larry hurt, and Larry won against the Bucks. They wound up getting swept, and that festered. I'll never forget. This is a true story. After Game 4, I was working for Channel 5 then. I had left the Globe at that time, and there were 2 of us left in the locker room after the dust had settled. Glenn Ordway, who was then the color man for Johnny Most, and myself. And Larry says, "I'm going home, and I'm going to work on my game, and I'm coming back, and I'm going to be better." And next year. This is from Larry Bird. He's already, and sure enough, we know what happened. Next year was the first of his 3 straight MVPs. And he did come back, and he had a new, I call him throw shot, and he worked on his left even more. And that's what truly great ones do. So anyway, that group, they were able to keep intact with the big 3. And then, then afterward, okay, then the next group that wins is '08. And they could have won 3 in a row. In '09, Garnett was hurt, wasn't there, and in 10, I will carry the pain of Game 7 to my grave, let alone what they're thinking. Should have won Game 7 in LA. Had control of the game, lost control of the game, and that one stings. They were, they could have easily won 3 in a row. So that's I don't know if I've answered it, but that's how it went. And
it sounds like it's just keeping it together.
Yeah, I mean,
what it really is.
Sure, I mean, the Bird, Parrish, McHale, and then augmented in '86 with Walton. That year, it's the greatest front court anyone ever seen or ever will see, because the game's changed. The people don't even need a front court like that anymore, but you did in those days. Play from the inside. That game used to be inside out. Now the game is out, outer, and Caitlin Clark. So that's I used to say Curry, but now we say Clark. So anyway, yeah, Curry Land's now become Clarkville. Just in case anybody asks you. So yeah. That is the key, and of course it is for anybody. But this group has done it, and so in that sense, no excuses.
Here's one more for you, and we're gonna wrap up soon. But I'm just trying to get as much out of you as I can while I have limited time with your expertise. Jason Tatum, if his career were to end right now, where would he rank in terms of all-time Celtics?
Well, that of course is great. First of all, we established the ground rules. The Mount Rushmore is still untouchable until further notice. And chronologically speaking, it is Cousy, Russell, Havlicek, Irving. Okay. Then we draw a line and all the arguments start. That who's the next guy up? Who's the 5th best Celtic ever? And the candidates, of course, include McHale, Sam Jones, Dave Cowens, Pierce. And Garnett wasn't here long enough. So no.
Yeah, agreed.
Tatum is getting into discussion. He will enter and is entering into that discussion. I've gone through this and I've settled on Pierce. As
the 5th guy.
Yeah. And yet I would easily make the devil's advocate argument for McHale, or Cowens, or Sam Jones. But I think Pierce he just reached a point where he was, I still say I've been hooted down for, I said this, 22 years ago, after a playoff game in Indianapolis. I said, he's the greatest individual scoring machine in Celtic history. He can find more ways to score than any Celtic ever, and that includes Larry. Larry could be guarded by people, at times that not be able to get his shot off the way he wants. Nobody could stop Pierce getting any shot he wanted. And it's almost like Curry. And a great finisher, and had a 3-point shot. And don't foul. He was an excellent free throw shooter. Every which way. I think no one ever had more ways to score in the Celtic uniform. Tatum, is kind of in that mold in different ways to score. And I'm not sure we've ever had anybody that went to the basket is any better or more beautifully than with either hand than Tatum does. Pierce did very well, of course. Larry had a great left hand, of course, in every way, but he didn't. You don't think of him as the great driver the way you do with as Pierce and Tatum. So I mean, Tatum's entering in that discussion. I mean, his numbers, his stature. It's hard to believe he's still 26. I mean. Yeah, I mean, but this happened. You come in the league when you're 19, and he's made it. They all have to grow up before us personally, and he's done that. And I'm a big fan of Tatum. So absolutely, when it's all said and done, oh boy, will he be in that discussion?
What does he have to do to surpass Pierce? What would he, in theory, have to do to get on that Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I don't know. See, I don't want to. Well, first of all, Pierce has one title. Right. So that. I'm not going to hold anybody to that standard based on titles. If you're going to do that, then you got to go with Sam Jones. But we all know that he doesn't win without Russell, and then you got to go Havlicek. Well, he's already there, so don't worry about it. I don't know. I just keep doing what you're doing and put up the numbers. If he winds up, let's say, for the sake of argument, that this group fulfills our fondest wishes and wins 2 or 3 in a row, at least 2, maybe, then he's going to be a central figure in it, and that it's going to be very difficult to argue anybody out of it. Then let's see if that happens.
We'll see. We'll see. One more thing. One more question before I let you go. And this is back to the Olympics. Obviously, the controversial decision with Derrick White being picked for the team over Jaylen Brown. Now that we've been through group play and we're going to the knockout stages, do you think that was the right call from a basketball standpoint?
It's proven to be an excellent call. And particularly now that Holiday, the insurance at that position, Holiday missed a game because he was hurt. If you don't have Holiday and you have to settle for White, that's pretty good, and vice versa. For the same job description, essentially. So no, I mean, it was a wise decision. I'm not unsympathetic to Brown. I mean, except that he does have the MVP of the conference finals and the NBA finals in his resume. So no, I think they made a wise decision. I at the time, Jackson, I said, "Oh God, this is the last thing in the world that the Celtics need is any kind of distraction, of this nature, out of their control. They had nothing to do with it. They're minding their own business, and suddenly they got to worry about, is Brown going to take this well, And I can imagine how frustrated and how I could just see Brad going, "Oh my God, why do I need this?" And or Joe Mazzulla saying, "Why do I need this?" But apparently he's going to be okay, with it. But in terms of White, what a good decision. Look at the way he's playing. He's playing great.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. USA is going to beat Brazil by, 15 points tomorrow, around
14,
there?
14
points. 14 points, and they're playing Canada in the gold medal match. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast. I'm Jackson Tolliver. Just a reminder, we are powered by Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy, and game time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Bob, thanks so much for doing this.
You're welcome.